What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Aware Narcissist Sundays. I am Lee Hammock, a diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and I use my platform on social media to raise awareness for NPD, get more people into therapy, and also validate the victims, survivors, and thrivers of said disorder, said toxic traits. Today's episode is going to be about how I practice empathy as a narcissist, how I work on myself while having narcissistic personality disorder. So one way that I work on myself is by filling out my very own self-love journal. You have to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else fully. You see what I'm saying? Self-love journal teaches you how to, appreciate yourself, gain more self-love for yourself, and things of that nature. And that's on Amazon. Link is in the description of every video I do. But how do I practice empathy as a narcissist? Because not all narcissists, but a lot of narcissists lack empathy. Empathy. That's the power word, isn't it? So many people be trying to trash me online because they think I have no empathy. They're like, Lee, you have no empathy. But I've learned through, just through research and through talking to other people, psychologists and doctors and whatnot, that there are different forms of empathy. Like they typically narrow it down to two different types of empathy: affective emotional empathy and cognitive empathy. I have emotional empathy, but I feel like I have more cognitive empathy. I understand and the difference is emotional empathy is like being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and actually feel those same emotions and being able to relate to those same emotions as somebody else. Cognitive empathy is understanding that those are shoes, right? I understand that those are Nikes, but I just can't, they don't fit me. Those are Nike shoes. I love them. I love the check on the side. I understand, but those are size 8. I wear a size 13, so they don't fit me. I understand the emotion. I see the emotion. I just don't connect with it. So I understand a lot of people, and that's why I feel like it allows me to help a lot of people that are dealing with narcissistic personality disorder, but also deal with survivors of narcissistic people, toxic people, survivors of toxic relationship and toxic abuse and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But yeah, how do I practice it? How do I work on myself as a narcissist? First of all, therapy. Therapy is super, it used to be cheap for me back in the day. Back in the day, when I had insurance, I still have insurance now, but when I was working a full-time job and I worked in a warehouse, the insurance pretty much covered it. It covered therapy up to so it made therapy like $10 or $15 a session, maybe $20 a session. It was super low. But even though I had a job, it wasn't like the best job, So still paying that money every single month was kind of, you had to kind of divert money. So I've been dedicated to therapy since October of 2017, which is a very long time, y'all. It's been 6 years, at least once a month for 6 years. There've been some breaks in there, but at least once a month for 6 years. That's 72 times. I probably went a couple of times, twice a month. So probably about around 80, 90 times of therapy, 80, 90 sessions, 80, 90 hours of working on yourself. That's, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot working on yourself. So what I like, just going to therapy helps me unload. That's why I preach therapy to people. Therapy helps you unload a lot of this stuff, especially if you're being open and honest in therapy. That's why I go to therapy. You can be open, honest, and vulnerable. So you have to have a therapist that you trust. If you do not trust your therapist, there's no point in going. You're just being more manipulative, honestly. If you don't trust it, you find a therapist, you don't trust the therapist, you just end up going to therapy and being more manipulative. You just do. You just manipulating the therapist because you're lying to them. If you're not being open and honest and vulnerable, you're lying. Lying by omission is still lying. Leaving out information, being ashamed to say stuff, it's not being completely open and honest. Being open, honest, and vulnerable in therapy is what has helped me get here. I've been in therapy for 6 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years in. My wife left me while I was in therapy, y'all. I was in therapy and she still left because I was being honest with the therapist, but I was leaving things out. So I was lying. You see what I'm saying? I was lying by omission, by leaving things out that I felt like would paint me in a more negative light, that I felt like would paint me in a more negative position than what I was in. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to say this, but I'm going to leave this part out. if I say enough, I can still get the help, but I wasn't being fully honest and transparent. Transparency. The therapist has to be able to see through, has to be able to see, what's the translucent and transparent? Dang. The therapist has to be able to see through you. You know what I mean? They have to be able to see through you. And the only way they can see through you, if you open up, you have to take off your narcissistic armor and let them in. You got to let them in. If you don't let them in, what's the point of going to therapy then? If you're afraid to let them in, believe I want to get hurt. If you're afraid to let them in, there's no point in going to therapy. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest. Let's keep it hot. Let's keep it ice spice. Let's keep it a bean. What did you say? Let's keep it let's keep it a bean. There's no point in going if you're not going to be open, honest, and vulnerable. It just doesn't happen that way, y'all. So you have to be open. You have to be honest. You have to be vulnerable in order to get help from therapy. You have to take the armor off. The armor, if you're a narcissist watching this, you know exactly what armor I'm talking about. You just do. If you're a person with personality disorder or you're dealing with mental health issues, you know what armor I'm talking about. You have to take off the defensive armor the armor that you feel like everybody's against you, everybody's going to hurt you, the defensive armor. And you have to put down your armor and your shield. Leave it at the door of therapy. Leave your armor and your shield at the door of therapy or the therapist's office or before you hop on a Zoom call or whatever. And go from that point on. Go from that perspective right there. Go from that dynamic right there. Go from that place right there. Go from that peace right there. You see what I'm saying? You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to take it there. You have to be able to go in that direction to get the help that you need. You absolutely do. You know what I mean? And how do I practice that? In therapy, yeah, that's one part of it. But practicing empathy and relinquishing control of everything, understanding that you can't control everything helps out so much. One of the very first exercises that I did in therapy is what she called the control circles. So what she had me do on a piece of paper, right? What she had me do on a piece of paper is draw two circles. One of them was smaller than the other. It was like one circle was this big and the other circle was like huge on a piece of paper, right? So you draw those two circles on a piece of paper, and on the inner circle, on the smaller circle, you write the things that you feel like you can control, the things you have control over on this, like whatever you feel like you have control over. So this was, I had to find a piece of paper. This is what it looks like, y'all. On a bigger scale, but this is what it looks like right here. The smaller circle was bigger, of course, but this bigger circle, the smaller circle, you have to write down the things that you absolutely feel like you have control over. You know what I mean? The things you have control over in your life, you're supposed to write in this circle right here. You're supposed to write the things you feel like you have control over. You fill this circle up with. So what happened with me? I was filling up the circle. I was filling up the circle so much stuff was leaking out into the big circle. She was like, "Okay, stop." She's like, "You feel like you have control over way too much of your life. You have to let some of this stuff go because some of this stuff I was putting stuff in this circle like my brother's job, my brother's career. Like, how the hell am I supposed to control my brother's job, my brother's career? What the hell does that mean? Huh? How? You try to control too much because when you were growing up, when I was growing up, I lacked so much control. I want it now. I'm a grown ass person now. I got control now. I want it. I crave it too much now. So you have to learn to relinquish control over things you cannot control. And it's tough. It is tough to like put stuff out of your control because it's scary as hell. It is. It's absolutely scary as hell. It is tough as hell. It's scary as hell. There's so much behind the scenes. Oh my God, y'all. It really, really is. That's why I tell people, y'all, you have to be in this position to understand that space right there. You just have to. Like, it's scary to let go of control. It's scary to be vulnerable, but you have to. You know what I mean? You have to. You have to. You want to get better? Let go. I'm not telling you to let go of every damn thing. I'm telling you to let go of things piece by piece, little piece by little piece. Let go of things little piece by little piece. Look at the most outrageous thing in your circles and let go of the most outrageous thing if you can. That's baby steps. Baby steps are still steps. I tell people, like, babies take little tiny steps, but they get where they're going, right? Takes them longer, but they get where they're going, right? It's not fair, but it takes them longer, right? But they get where they're going. So I had to, I can't control my brother's job. I literally, the first thing I did was text my brother, like, "Hey, wherever you want to work, I support you." I had to let that go. I had to let it go immediately. It took me immediate action. I had to let that go. It's insane. Trying to control my little brother. He's about to be 30 years old. I'm 38. You see what I'm saying? I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is stupid. Some things you have to let go of control of. You know, and I also had to work on empathy. I'm gonna tell you that, I don't like these videos going too long, y'all, so I'm gonna do another one later. But working on empathy, learning to be more empathetic is a tough thing to do, y'all. And I had a comment. Where's my phone at? I had a comment from another self-aware narcissist on Instagram, and I told her I would answer this in the video. Hold on. I told her I would answer this comment in a video. It was yesterday. Where's that? So she said, how did you develop the willingness to do empathetic actions? I find it difficult to not see it as beneath me. So that's understandable. So she said, how do you develop the willingness? It's still selfish, y'all. It still comes from a place of selfishness. It sounds manipulative. It sounds bad, but my empathy, my healing is selfish. I'm selfishly working on myself to be it's gonna sound weird. It's gonna sound weird to be the best narcissist, the world's best narcissist. It's just like, how can I be the world's best narcissist? You know, I can help people. I actually like helping people. I like being more empathetic. It's scary, but I like being more empathetic. You know what I mean? But because it benefits me. You have to find a benefit for things. Like the way my mind works, it has to find a way to serve me. It has to serve me. You know what I'm saying? In a good way. It had to find a way to serve me in a good way. That's how I had to trick my mind into changing my behaviors. I was like, this has to serve me in a good way and not in a negative way. You see what I'm saying? It has to serve me in a way that's positive and not negative. It has to be a positive it has to be positive. You know what I mean? So I'm very selfish with my healing. I'm doing good things. And I'm not telling people about the good stuff that I do behind the scenes. I had to practice being empathetic, reaching out to people behind the scenes to later, hey, look, you need anything, I'm here. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. Things like that behind the scenes where I'm not necessarily in the public spotlight. I'm not getting other people's gratification from it. I'm just getting self-gratification from it. And maybe the gratification of someone else, it helps out a lot. You know what I mean? Maybe the gratification of the person I reach out to. And that's all that matters. I donate to the homeless. I do GoFundMes. I've helped other people I help pay for other people's therapy. Oh yeah, I've been doing behind the scenes stuff to show compassion, to show empathy. You know, look it up. What makes you uncomfortable? Do that. Being empathetic is scary, but it serves me. It serves me in a good way because it helps me be a better person. Like if you have to find a way for it to serve you, let it serve you in a positive way. It's like, hey, being empathetic, showing more empathy, cognitive empathy, which to me, showing more cognitive empathy leads to more being able to be more showing more cognitive empathy allows me to connect more to people on an emotionally empathetic level. It allows me to talk to people. I do my one-to-ones over Zoom. I've talked to thousands of people over the last few years on Zoom, off Zoom, in real life. When I have my meetups and stuff like that, I've talked to so many people, and just learning that I affect people in a positive way helps out so much. So that helps boost me to get the empathy. That helps boost me to do more good deeds. It helps boost me to be more empathetic. It sounds like, it sounds manipulative. Y'all don't know how my mind works. It sounds bad. It doesn't come natural to me. This is not my natural inclination to serve others. It's just not. It's not my natural inclination to be there for other people. It's just not my natural. It's not natural to me. So if it's unnatural to me, I have to work on it. So how do I work on it? I have to make it a benefit to me. It's like, hey, look, you like doing good deeds. You like you like helping people. You like to feel good. You like when it feels good to you to help other people. So I'm helping other people. I'm being more empathetic. My videos, I'm being empathetic in my videos. I'm caring about people more in my videos. Survivors and narcissists. That's why I do these series for the narcissists. You know what I mean? Not in this series. I try to do it every Sunday, but like I said, this is the series that doesn't get the most. This series right here, you look at my playlist, it gets the least amount of views because it's catered to a very unique audience. You know what I mean? I like helping people. My main goal when I started my platform was to help more men get into therapy. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about starting a men's mental health Monday or something like that. What do y'all think about that idea right there? If y'all made it this far, what do you think about the men's mental health Mondays? Men's mental health Mondays. Because like I said, I do want it. That's always been my goal, is to help narcissists and help other men as well. And yes, narcissists can be women, but I want to help other people. You know what I mean? I help so many people. I just like being empathetic. It has been the most beneficial thing for me in my life. Being more empathetic, caring about more people has actually helped me and not hindered me. I used to see caring about too many people as a hindrance. Now I see how it helps me. And the way I do that, I have to sit by myself. I meditate a lot. And I really can't meditate because my mind wanders around. So I do what they call free thinking. What I mean by free thinking is I sit there and just let my thoughts flow. My thoughts literally flow. I don't hold any thoughts back. I think them. The dark thoughts, the good thoughts, the bad thoughts. It helps me get it out into the world, so it's not repressed. When you repress those thoughts, when you repress those feelings, that's when it starts doing damage to yourself, because it has to go somewhere. And typically, if you don't get those thoughts out, they come out as rage later on your partner or your friends or your family members, and they don't deserve that. But you have to practice empathy, make being empathetic. You know, it's not it doesn't come natural to everybody, so you have to try harder. It really is. You have to just try harder. And when you get a good feeling from doing something, you get a high from helping people, it'll change your perspective a lot. You know what I mean? It really changes a lot of people's perspective. I hope this video brought you some more clarity, y'all. If you like this series, of course, give it a thumbs up, interact with it. Again, like and subscribe if you made it this far. Mental Healness is out. Peace. What is going on, beautiful people? Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video, watching it all the way through, y'all. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a video and whatnot, and so we can help reach more people. Like I said in the beginning, the self-love brand is available. I have a self-love journal that's available on Amazon as well to help you rebuild that self-love. Lee Hammock, I Love Me, on Amazon and whatnot. I also do one-on-ones over Zoom and such as well, y'all. Like and subscribe for more Mental Health.